my beloved Batties, and welcome to another episode of Truth Behind the Tale, the series where I take a look at some of our most famous fairy tales and delve into their real-world historical and cultural origins. And today we're going to be taking a look at Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin was first collected by the Brothers Grimm in the 1812 edition of Children's and Household Tales. It's a very German tale where the title character is known as Rumpelstiltskin. Apologies for my terrible German pronunciation. The story pattern itself, though, is not limited to Germany, as there's many variants to be found all over the world in countries such as England, Ireland, Scotland, Iceland, Russia, the Czech Republic, South America, Hungary, Japan, and France. There's probably more. They're the ones I could find. Some of these stories came after the Brothers Grimm collected it, some are direct adaptations of the Brothers Grimm tale, but they all fall under the same Arne Thompson type of the name of the helper, Arne Thompson being the most common way of classifying fairy tales. The type itself refers to the plot point of the mysterious helper only being defeated by successfully speaking his name. In regards to name, the German name for Rumpelstiltskin literally means little rattle stilt, where a stilt is a post or a pole which provides structural support. This is related to Rumpelstilt, a type of goblin which was named as such for its rapping on planks and rattling poles, similar to a boggart or a poltergeist. The ending "shen" is similar to the English suffix kin, so Rumpelstiltskin pretty much means kin of the goblins. The earliest mention of the name Rumpelstiltskin, at least which we know of, comes from a 1577 manuscript by Johann Fischart. It refers to an amusement for children, or in other words, a children's game, called Rumpelstiltskin oder de Poppart. Again, my German pronunciation is atrocious, I humbly apologise. The game itself was similar to Duck-Duck-Goose. Children would take turns pretending to be a wicked goblin and chase their victims. The manuscript itself is a loose adaptation of an earlier work by a French author named François Rabelais, who lived between 1483 and 1553. Both of these authors wrote satire and enjoyed inventing their own words and phrases, which is probably where the name Rumpelstiltskin came from. Delving further back into history, some researchers believe it, alongside Beauty and the Beast, correlate with antecedents in Greek and Roman mythology, while one study claims that it's older, about 4,000 years old. But this study in particular needs to be taken with a bit of a pinch of salt because there is bias in there. In regards to the ancient Greek ties, an element of Homer's Odyssey stresses how Odysseus is very careful to keep his name secret from the Cyclops Polyphemus, instead saying that his name is Otis, which means nobody. This is also where we get the name Nemo from, also meaning nobody, in Latin. However, after Odysseus blinds Polyphemus, he becomes arrogant and boastfully reveals his true name. This allows Polyphemus to send his father, the sea god Poseidon, after Odysseus. Poseidon swore revenge and caused Odysseus huge troubles in continuing his journey. This takes us very nicely from history into links to other folklore, particularly what I just mentioned on the importance of the name. This is very significant. In many stories, knowing a being's true name grants the speaker power over it, so fairies and other supernatural beings are often very careful to keep their identities secret. A legend of Saint Olaf, King of Norway in the 11th century, states that a troll built him a church with amazing craftsmanship and speed, but he was able to free himself of the creature by learning its name while he was out walking in the woods. This is alarmingly similar to how the girl in Rumpelstiltskin discovers her helper's name, again, in the woods. Staying in Scandinavia for the moment, magical beasts such as Nix or Nokken, yes that is the horse in Frozen 2, could be defeated by speaking their name. For the same reason, swords and other significant objects in Germanic mythology are often given their own name. An example of this is Hrunting in Beowulf. Remembering the similarities of Rumpelstiltskin to a boggart, Northern English folklore once stated that naming a boggart would cause it to become uncontrollable and destructive, and reasoning with it would be impossible. Within fairy folklore, which imps and boggarts may be considered a part of, tales of changelings permeate popular culture even to this day. This stems from the belief that an unbaptised baby was particularly liable to be stolen away by the fairies, with a fairy child or a piece of wood left in its place. Children were usually not named, at least in the eyes of God, unless they were baptised, so this gave rise to the belief that being unbaptised left them in danger from malicious forces. Similarly, in the fairy tale, Rumpelstiltskin ultimately bargains for the girl's unborn child as his price for helping her, intending to take the child in a similar manner to a changeling. The entire idea of speaking true names to hold power over somebody has percolated into modern fantasy literature as well, including Ursula Le Guin's Ursi, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, and Christopher Paolini's Inheritance Cycle, to name a few. Even though there's no evidence that Rumpelstiltskin itself was the influencing factor over all of these, it's certainly the most famous one in popular culture. Indeed, even in Once Upon a Time, arguably the most well-known variant of the character to date, Rumpelstiltskin stresses the importance of using someone or something's proper name in magic. All magic comes with a price, dearie!
I guess it worked.
Oh, I'm obsessed. Okay, Batty, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Truth Behind the Tale. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single episode. The next episode of Truth Behind the Tale will be coming on the last Tuesday of next month. Thank you for watching, have a good day, and I'll see you all again very soon in another video. Bye!